And welcome to live stream number 23. It is July 10th and it's Monday, and man, it's great to be back. Just had a week's vacation here, so trying to kind of like get back in things here. But yeah, we're gonna do another live stream. If you are watching this, then you are watching the recording, because we haven't got anybody in the live stream yet. We will in a few seconds, I'm sure. Today, we're going to talk, well, I called this AskLars Vol.1. Because what I'm going to do today is going to talk about a couple of questions I've gotten via email from you guys. So, I don't know, maybe the title should be changed. You give me any different ideas, but it's something. It's a placeholder, right? I can see that we already got a couple people in here, so hey, thank you everybody for taking the time to join. We got Mexico. That's awesome. That's a little bit south from where I'm sitting here in Buffalo, New York. So again, this is live stream. This is number 23. Down in the description area, you will find my email address, lars.christensen@autodesk.com. If there's anything you would like to see in these live streams, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll be happy, to fit it in here whenever it kind of like goes in. So it's Monday, and just quickly, I can tell you that I scheduled this week's again. So I'm trying this again here. Tomorrow at noon, so that's Eastern Standard Time. That's where I am. It's the same time zone as New York City, if you don't know. So tomorrow at noon, that's going to be the next live stream. Now, tomorrow's topic is going to be save, upload, download files. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about how you can upload files into Fusion, how you can save files, how you can share them. Pretty beginner stuff. So if you already feel pretty well around Fusion 360, maybe tomorrow is not that interesting to you. But we are going to do live streams all through the week. So tomorrow is tomorrow is number 2. Tomorrow is noon at Eastern Standard Time. All right, cool. I can see that we got a bunch of people in here already. 36 people in 2 minutes. That's pretty awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. So, AskLars Volume 1. That's what I'm going to call this one for now, I think. So I got some great questions while I was on vacation from a bunch of people. But 2 of them I'm going to highlight today and kind of like address that. So I'm going to jump back into the chat in a little while, but let's look at the first one. The first one comes from Carl. I really appreciate it, Carl. And let's switch screen here. Not looking at me. So this is, this is kind of my attempt to model up a radio knob, like a dial. So Carl sent me a picture of this dial on his, I think it's called a ham radio, I think it's called. But what he's asking is, how would you model this dimple, I guess we're going to call it, to put your finger in, you can kind of like spin it around. So I kind of like model up my attempt of this one. And by the way, I know that people's going to ask me how I model things up. So grab the bottom bar here and scroll back. So I started out with just a round disc, and then I had a little bit of fun here playing around with this. So I made a little notch, just modeled a little notch in there, and then I revolved it around like 240 times. What actually made Fusion did it, you can see here, but it did come and tell me that, hey, you might want to reconsider doing that another way. That's maybe another topic we can talk about when you start patterning things a lot, and software got to catch up with it. Then I did something that I thought was how did I say it? Like when I was modeling this up, this was just the way I did it. I kind of like made this recess. You see this recess kind of like going in here? And if you look at the image that Carl sent, you can kind of like see it's probably 2 pieces of plastic, it looks more like, in here. But here's one thing I thought was kind of funny. So I did this recess, and the way I did this recess was I sketched a circle on the front face. Let me turn on that sketch. Nope. This one right here. Then I made a offset plane going back like, I don't know, 50 thousandths or something like that. And if you watch the video I did right before vacation, that has, so this one is going 50,000 in, and then on that one I sketched another circle a little bit smaller. So there's kind of like two circles now sitting right here. And then I used the loft function to do a lofted cut. So I got that function there. And that was just kind of like how I did it without really thinking about it. But then, of course, as I was having lunch, I was thinking, well, you know what it would have been a lot easier to do was just have sketched that first sketch on this front face here, and then do a cue for press pull. Now pulling out, of course, it would be a solid. If I pull minus, it's just going to be a cut, right? And if I example did minus, like, I think it was 50 thousandths deep. Now, if I just do it 50 thousandths here, then we'll just get like a straight cut in. But there was taper on it. That was why I went to the loft. But, you know, actually, honestly, there is a taper right inside of your standard press pull. So I could just have done it by adding like 60 degrees inside of the standard press pull feature. I could have gotten the same result with this one feature as, if I delete it, as I did with all these other things created. Ha! Isn't that funny? You know, this is what I love about, you know, when you model things up, that you have a tendency to just get stuck one way you do things, and then when you're watching or you're thinking about it, or like why I like to show the steps, because I love watching somebody else model up, because that's when I'm suddenly like, huh, never thought about doing that. All right, so I'm yapping away. Back to the model. Carl, how do we create this dimple in here? You know what? Anything that is round inside of Fusion, Revolve is your friend. So what I would do is, let me just open up the origin. So I sketched this one sitting right here. Now it's right in here right now. And we could just expand it out and we could find it. That's the plane, XY plane. If I right click on that and create a sketch on that plane, right? And now I can't actually not see that recess I just cut in there because I'm looking from here. But don't forget that there is actually a tool in the insert drop down. No, inspection. You can do, wow, I've been on vacation, can you hear? In the inspection drop down, there's section analysis. Don't forget about this tool. That can be super helpful, but I probably can't do it while I'm inside of a sketch. Oh, see? All right, there we go. You can actually do section analysis right in here. And you know what? I had already created one, so that's why it came up. See, I've already done that. Let me delete that again. So now it's like it never happened. So go into inspection and go to section analysis. And it's looking for a face or a plane. So if I go in and select that same one I wanted to sketch on, you're actually getting this section analysis tool right here, what is pretty dang dandy. So now if I hit OK to that, and I go back into my sketch I just created on that face there, now I can actually see that recess. So that's going to make it helpful. All right, to do the dimple, I'm going to create a circle. So I'm going to hit C for circle. And if I go in here, I can actually select right in here. So I can just zoom in and select right on that edge and sketch some kind of a circle, whatever the radius is going to be. So I'm going to make it 625 here. Doesn't really matter. Place that circle. And I'm also, when I do that, you would actually see that it's projecting the edges through here. And you can see how Fusion I've already kind of like splitting it up. Now, if I go in, so now I got this circle sitting right here. So this is kind of like going to be our dimple. If you use the Revolve, sitting right on here underneath the Create command, and over here you can choose to make it a cut. If I select these, whoops, if I select these two halves, and then select the axis I want to revolve around, what's going to be that center line right there, then it's actually going to cut out that dimple. Now we only see half of it right now. Let me turn the section analysis off. And then we got that dimple in there. I did do another live stream where I talked about the Revolve. So search for that one. But the Revolve is well, the way it was taught to me is anything that is really rounded and you want to either make a solid or make a cut with, the Revolve is absolutely awesome with that. Actually, the Revolve and the Sweep are two commands that are great when you gotta kind of like create like a channel or like an indent or something like that. So the Revolve is the tool that I would use here for Dan's example here. Sorry, maybe got a little bit screwed up with the analysis and stuff like that. But watch the video again, Kyle, if you missed it the first time around, and then you know, or reach out to me, whatever. I can see we got 52 people in here right now, which is awesome. So let me just check the chat here. It's Belgium is here, Dubai is here. Great to see all of you guys. Bob is here again today. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. All right, I'm gonna get back to these questions in the end here. Anyways, let's see. Can see. Okay, so one of the questions I get in here is in regards to the free hobbyist version. If you search Fusion 360, you should be able to get right into the website, and right there you can download it. And let's go here, Fusion 360, and there is the Fusion 360 site. And when you can download the free trial, but actually when you download it there and you create your Autodesk account, right there is when you can choose what you're going to be. If you are going to be hobbyist, or if you're going to be download the free trial, or pay for the version. So that's where you should start for that question. All right. So this here was Kyle's question. The next one I want to cover today, because I don't want to get too long-winded, is a question I got from Larry. So Larry asked, he sent me this picture, and he's trying to model up I don't know what you call it, a device to hold on to a round rail. So like you stick your piece in there, and then how would you model up, you know, the slot and kind of like put things together to create like a rail holding device or clamp or something like that for a round piece. So I thought that could be an interesting thing to model up in here, so fairly quickly, just to kind of like show you how I would attack that. So Larry, this one is for you. All right, let's get back into this one. Answer Carl's question, hopefully. Start a new design. All right, so let's just look at the image one more time here. It's a little small, probably small on your screen. So it's kind of like from a top view here, right? But I think we all know kind of like what we're looking at. Pipe's going to go in here, and you're probably going to put like some kind of like screw through here that's going to tighten down and hold on the clamp. Now, to be honest, whenever I got to model something up where I'm not straight ahead, you know, clear on how I'm going to model it. And I think that happens to all of us. You're looking at a piece and you're kind of like, okay, I'm a little lost. What is this? And very easily you can get a little bit overwhelmed. My best advice for doing that, at least my best tip, is to model it up the same way you would make it if you were going to make it in real life. Now, there's a lot of great CAD tools inside of Fusion 360 that can do all kinds of cool shortcuts. Like we just used the Revolve, and I talked about the Sweep, and they are kind of like magic tools in a way versus how you would normally make things. But for something like this, if I was going to attack this part, I think I would use that technique. So let's go in and look at it. So kind of like a clamping kind of device here. So let's get back into Fusion, and I'm going to start a new sketch, and it doesn't matter where we're going to start here. And I'm just going to hit my S key to get my toolbox, and I'm just going to sketch something up here. I'm going to make something, let's say 3 inches by 2 inches. So all my metric friends, I'm sorry. I'm going to extrude this out, and I'm going to make it maybe 2 inches also. So now we just got like the block, like the raw piece of material, could we say, right? So then we could start, let me open the image again. So then we could start looking at this and kind of figuring out, all right, so, you know, if I was going to make this, what is the first thing you would do? Maybe the first thing you do is put the hole in. So if I was going to drill this, I would go in here, open up a new sketch on the top, and hit C for circle. And I'm just going to sketch a circle up here, make it a 1/2 inch in diameter. That's what I just decided the pipe was going to be. It's blue, right? So because it can move around. So now I might create a center line. So I'm going to hit Alpha line, hover over here till I see that little triangle. That means I'm on this midpoint of the line. I'll create that one up there. Hit escape to get out of it. And then I can make that construction by either hit X on your keyboard or hit the icon over here. Now, it will actually snap in, and you will see we get the coincident sign. Like if you look over here, see how we have the coincident sign over here? When I let go, you'll actually see that that's gonna appear also. So now it's there. It's still blue though, because now it can, whoops, now it can move up and down. So let's put in a dimension from here to here. And I'm gonna make it, I don't know, 655 maybe, from the edge, okay? And let's blast a hole right through there. So I'm gonna hit Q, and I'm just gonna drag the arrow down so it's a cut, and then I'm gonna say all the way through. So if ever anything changes on the block, that hole would already go through. So we got that. So I kind of like just drill that hole on the drill press, right? Now the other thing I see on this image is that we have a very rounded edge. So let me do that. So that might be, I don't know, maybe you set it up in a mill and you kind of like machine that, or maybe you go in and grind that off or something like that. Let me open up another sketch. I'm going to hit my S key again. I'm going to do a 3-point arc for this. So I'm going to select this edge, and then just select this edge down here. Now a couple of things. If I grab this circle, we can see that it's floating around. So one thing I know I want this to be tangent. So if I select this line and this edge, I should actually be able to right click, and right here we have tangent. That's one way to grab that. These lines here, see how they are not, they're kind of like all over the place. I'm going to make those horizontal like that. Okay. And now the last thing I really need is probably just some kind of a radius just to control this. So let me hit D for dimension, and let's make it 1.25. I don't know, I'm just selecting something here. Now if I hit Q, I can select these two sections and just go through all with those. And now we kind of like got that rounding on there. Now of course you could also use like a fillet or something on these edges, whatever you want for that. So now we kind of like have created this area here. Now let's go in and maybe go in, and I have a feeling that this is not this this long. It's probably kind of sticking out. So now I'm going to go in and open a sketch on this side, and I'm just going to sketch a couple of rectangles. So let me hit S key and do rectangle from here. I'm going to make sure that it snaps to here and just sketch something out like that. And I'm going to do another one down here. So now I'm going to kind of like these two I'm going to cut with. Now I'm going to add a dimension between these two. And maybe they are 625 thick like that. We're going to have a dimension from here to this edge. Let's make that a 1/2 inch. And I definitely want these two to be the same collinear. So this line to this line. And I probably also want these to be in the center. So I could use equal length and say I want these two to be equal length. And that should take care of that. And then the only thing I have right now is that these two are right now, they're kind of like moving sideways. But if I take this point, I can snap it to the origin I had right there. So now that one is in control. And then let's go in and make those two collinear. Now everything is fully defined. Everything is black. That's what we're going for. So let me hit Q and just select these areas and cut that all the way through. Okay, good. So now we got this portion. I think that's kind of like what we're looking at here on the image. Now the last thing I have to do here is do the slot, and then probably there's a screw coming in through here. So to do that, I am going to open up a sketch. So again, you know, you had milled off, or machined off, or saw cut off those two pieces. Now you have this. Now we could come in with a slitting saw and kind of like cut this open. So I'm still keeping like in mind how I would machine this. To do this, I'm just going to create a couple of other 2-point rectangles. So maybe one that goes in to about that edge. It's probably going to be like 1/8 of an inch wide. And I'm going to create the other one in the same sketch while I'm at it. And that's going to be 1/8 of an inch wide too. Right? So those two is going to be kind of like the same. Now they're still, we still got to kind of like snap into something, right? They're moving back and forth like this. So maybe I snap this to this edge here. So now it's kind of like part of that. It's going to follow that edge around. And then maybe we just give it a dimension from this edge to this edge. Make it 0.75. Like that. That is our slit there. So now I can see that this one is all good, but this one is still blue because this one is actually not attached to anything. So let's make this point and this point colony, and now everything is black. So now I can come in with my slitting saw, go in here, and then turn it 90 degrees and go this way. I'll probably start in the hole, go in the other way, whatever. So let's go in here and select these two edges, and they are going to be cut all the way through, just like that. And now we kind of like have that slit through right there. Now, if we ever wanted to adjust some of the things, we could go in and adjust possibly this 75. We could turn that to, what would happen if we go another 50 thousandths in, maybe going like that, hit OK. That maybe looks more like the picture. Oops, you be the judge of that. Last thing I gotta do on this part here is adding a screw in here. So actually, when I'm looking at this, let's go in here and create a sketch, and I'm gonna place a screw somewhere in here. Now I wanted to show you something. Just, I don't know if this is the best way to do it. I don't necessarily think so, but I just wanted to show you that as an alternative, if you create a point instead of a circle, so if I go in here, I got a point here, a sketch point, right? And I'm just going to place it right around here. And then that I can dimension too. So let's make sure that it is diameter from, oops, get out of the point tool here. No. Let's go, still have the point tool active. There we go. Dimension from here to here, and let's do 0.4. Now I don't know if it's gonna hit. It's probably gonna hit that. Well, it's gonna still be okay. And let's just go in here, and you can see how it can move up and down here too, right? So we could just do a dimension from here to here, and I know that it was 625, but I hate to do math. I can actually divide by 2 right in here, and then I get that point fully defined. The reason I want to create a point and let's just start creating the hole is be aware of that Fusion actually has a hole function in here. So if I select that one and I select that point, I can actually blast a hole right through here. But not only just a simple hole, you can actually do something like a counter bore. So now I could actually place a counter bore in here. So maybe this is an 1/8 inch screw, so I can go in and create a diameter of 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to let it cut right through here, and I can see that it's cutting through the edge, so we're going to look at that. But I'm going to make it 1.5 inches right now, like that, and then if we go into the counter bore, so if this was I made it a 1/4 inch, so that would mean that the depth will also be a 1/4 inch plus some clearance, and the counter bore diameter will probably be 375. I think that is, if I remember correctly, that is the size for a quarter inch. So I'm going to hit OK to that. So now that one is in there, but as you saw in the image, we kind of cut right through there. So I'm actually going to go in and change that point a little bit. So let's go in and edit that and maybe do it 375. That might not be enough. Let's do 300. Sketch. And that looks a little bit better. So now I got it kind of like that counterbore through there. Now, so the whole tool is a great tool to create counterbores. You don't have to do multiple sketches. So I hope that that is helpful. And now actually also right now this is measuring a quarter inch. So that should actually be a little bit bigger if there was going to be clearance. So you would make that a little bigger. But what I could do now is I could also go in and create the thread on this portion if I wanted to. Turn the model on. And now we get kind of like the model thread in there. This needed to be, of course, be a little bit bigger for clearance of that. But I think that's how I would kind of like approach model this part up. So I hope that Larry gets to watch this and Carl with the Revolve dimple in here. Guys, I hope this was kind of helpful. So, back from vacation, I thought I'll start out with trying to answer a couple of questions on the so that I gotten from you guys here. So maybe this Ask Lars thing could be a regular thing. If you have any specific questions that is feasible to show in this time. I hope this was helpful. Let me just check in the comment area here, just making sure that that I'm not missing something obvious that I should have covered. I got a question: is 5-axis cam available in Fusion 360 to hobbyists, or the free version? Yes. So go back and watch the one I did called "Is Fusion 360 Free?" because I talked about it in there. And yes, the free version is the full-blown version with all the simulation tool and the 5-axis cam. So that is answered. Got that one. Got people from Germany. Love that. Thank you, Germany. Austria. Awesome. I was just watching the Formula 1 Grand Prix yesterday. All right. So got a couple of other. All right. I think what I'm gonna do here is what I normally do. I think I'm gonna end this session, the broadcasting, but jump into the chat itself and chat with you guys who are in there. We got 60 people in here, which is awesome. So I'm going to do that. Don't forget, tomorrow, noon Eastern, is the next live stream. I will throw it up and schedule it on YouTube. And of course, this recording will be available also on YouTube in about, 30 minutes or so. And all of the live streams are. So if you can't make it tomorrow for noon, just make sure you subscribe and hit the notification, and you should get whenever that one is up. Tomorrow's subject is how to save, upload, and download files to Fusion. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So again, this is kind of beginner. So if you feel comfortable with all that inside of Fusion, how to share files and stuff, might just take a day off tomorrow. So going to end the live stream here before I hit the half an hour mark. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Don't forget, my email address is down in the description area. If there's anything you would like to see in these live streams, there's also still the link to the free CNC Handbook. So if you haven't gotten yours, or you want to send the link to somebody else so they can get it, go and grab that down in the description area. So until the next time, I will end the broadcast and join you in the chat. Have an awesome, awesome day.